So I'm the after school program coordinator for my job. And last week we had a student who was dropped off at aftercare that doesn't normally attend. And so of course they weren't too thrilled to be there. And I remember she described school as prison. And so I kind of had to laugh to myself because I remember when I was a kid, I hated school so much to the point where I also saw it as a form of prison. But now that I am an adult, I see certain jobs as a form of prison. Not my current job, of course. You know, we love kids around here. But that's just how human beings operate. Anything that we are required or obligated to do, we see it as a form of slavery or prison because we want to be free. We want to be able to do whatever we want to do, whenever we want to do it, however we want to do it, and we don't want to have to answer to nobody. But see, this gets into the lines of the deity of self, or this idea of individualism, right? Where a person has appointed themselves as their own highest form of authority and they live according to their own will. But this is not the kind of freedom that God has called us to. Creation can't answer to creation. Creation answers to the Creator. And so because we were all created by God, we owe our lives to Him. Now you can choose to reject God, but if you say no to God, you are involuntarily choosing to serve the devil. You may not be a traditional Satanist in the form of joining a cult and praying to the devil, but if you don't serve God, you serve the devil. And the Bible clearly states that you are a child of Satan. There's no getting around that. All of creation owes their life to a higher power, and that higher power is Jesus Christ. But the beautiful thing about Jesus is that He doesn't rule over us like a tyrant with an iron fist. Jesus rules over us with love, compassion, grace, and mercy. He left His heavenly place of glory, came down to earth in the form of a lowly servant, and gave up His life for us so that we can have life and life more abundantly, as well as eternal life with Him in the coming age. So I just want to encourage you to walk in your freedom. Don't look at your obligations here on earth as a form of slavery or prison. Because of what Jesus did for us on the cross, we are as free as we're ever going to be. But do not use your freedom to live in sin or to live for yourself. Because when you do that, you are making yourself a slave to sin, and you are giving up the freedom that Christ paid for you to have. So walk in your freedom.